Men should absolutely care about masculine and feminine energy. It has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. I've seen so many posts about what men think feminine energy is, and y'all, that's not it. Okay, it's not archaic. It's not going back to the Stone Age. It's not treating her like a pampered princess. It's not you doing all the work. It's none of those things. This video is not a male bashing video, and not at all. This is a video to help bridge the gap, because ultimately my goal is to help us all have healthy, successful relationships. If your relationship is off, if you're experiencing a disconnect, if you're experiencing no intimacy, terrible intimacy, and I don't mean an intimacy like I like to have sex 3 times a day and he likes to have sex once a day. I'm talking where you guys aren't having sex at all. There's no physical intimacy. You guys are really acting like buddies. You go get wings and you eat pizza and then you go home and veg out on the couch with no physical touch, nothing. If you are experiencing that in your relationship, oftentimes it is because there's an imbalance. In order for there to be sexual chemistry, there must be polarity. Men, if you're finding that your relationships is not hitting like it used to, maybe because your woman is no longer feeling in her feminine being. I'm going to be doing a video about the hows. Today is the what and the why, and why does it matter? We all have both masculine and feminine traits within us. Being masculine or feminine, these are how they're identifying traits, not gender roles. Oftentimes, we don't even realize there's an imbalance within ourselves between masculine and feminine energy until we get into a relationship with someone else or we're starting to date. And then, and only then, will you realize that, you know what, something is off. Is ultimately about balance. You don't recognize that your balance is off until you try to align your balance with someone else's. Now, the imbalance in my marriage honestly ultimately led to my divorce. I got divorced about 10 years ago. Now, there's other factors that led to my divorce. I can pinpoint to exactly how our dynamics shifted. And then we know when our dynamics shift, the relationship goes south. We didn't know how to self-correct it. We got divorced, bottom line. Now I'm in a healthy and a balanced and successful relationship. But trust and believe, I kissed a whole lot of frogs to get here. In this video, y'all, I want to get right into what is masculine and what is feminine energy and why it matters and who is suffering more from it today. It's not the woman, y'all, it's the man. So yesterday I released video number 1 where I talked about what is feminine energy. If you haven't seen that, y'all, please go check that video out. I clearly detailed exactly what feminine energy is, and I'm really speaking to those who have been through life, not necessarily the 18, 19-year-old. Yes, young folks can benefit from the video and this series that I'm doing on feminine and masculine energy. I just feel that the older we get, again, I'm almost 50 years old, the older we get, it's harder to make adjustments because we become so stubborn. We become used to doing everything that we've been doing. So masculine traits are typically known as leadership, decisiveness, and transactional. I'm not talking about the man is typically known as the protector and the provider, yet that's what a gender role is. That's what a man has been known to be throughout history. And then a woman has been known to be, oh, I'm going to take care of the kids, I'm going to stay at home and cook dinner, and then I'm going to, feed these kids every single night. Now, a feminine trait would be known as, yes, a nurturer, someone who's influential, somebody who's a motivator, or also known as transformational. For the purpose of this video, you may hear me say masculine equals men, feminine equals woman, to keep things simple. But please understand that anybody can have feminine traits and anybody can have masculine traits. The goal is for us to balance our energies, and you have to balance them within yourself in order for you to have a successful, happy, healthy, balanced relationship with somebody else. Now, I want to give an example of that balance, and maybe this will resonate more with you. So if you think about a 2-parent household, I was blessed enough to be raised in a 2-parent household. My parents are still married and have been married over 50 years. One parent is more masculine, and growing up, my father was definitely the masculine entity in the home. My mother, very feminine. If we did something that made my parents upset or something that we should not have been doing, my dad ruled with an iron fist, and his discipline was very transactional. You don't do X, you're going to get Y. Whatever that Y is, whether it's punishment, a spanking, it doesn't matter what it is. But it was very clear, and that was the end of that. And then I could think of getting discipline from my mother, the one who exercised more feminine qualities. Mother being nurturing. My mother would then come in and say, y'all have to listen to your dad. We love you. We just want y'all to be better. That love that came from my mother, and I could think of, not that my father's discipline wasn't needed, it absolutely was needed. And the two balanced each other and created well-rounded children. You think about in a relationship, there are times when a more masculine approach needs to be taken. There are times when a more feminine approach needs to be taken. Now, you may be wondering, why does all of this matter? Because ultimately, there are a few things that are keeping us from having healthy, balanced relationships. One, our masculine feminine energy, the imbalance could be completely tearing our relationship apart, our attachment styles, and as well as our communication issues. I will tell you, ladies, men are not that hard to understand. And believe it or not, fellas, women are not that hard to understand. Not at I know we get a bad rap of, hey, we are the most difficult creatures on earth. No, we women are not. I'm gonna say women want the three C's. We want communication, we want consistency, and we want consideration. These are huge for us. Now, men, we know you guys want respect or admiration, appreciation, and affection. Now, another reason why men should care about the masculine and feminine energy, here's the fact. These are facts I'm about to throw out, and you may not like these. More men are ending up lonely and single than women. This is the truth. And I know people be like, oh, but there's more women in the world. Oh, all these desperate women. That's not true. Gone are the days when women needed men to survive. Think of it. Women needed men to get a mortgage. They needed men to put food on the table. Those are not the day anymore. So if the longer a woman stays single, the longer she is just fine with being single. On the dating apps, the older a gentleman gets, the number is almost 3 to 1. 3 to 1 men looking for a relationship than women on the dating apps. And I'm talking about as we get older, my age and older, and especially older, 60s. You know why? Because married men live longer than single men by on average 10 years. 10 years. That is a lot. That is a huge number. Why? Because women are powerful creatures. We know how to extend life. We are nurturers. We take care of y'all. We love on y'all. There's been several articles and even videos that I've seen about, and I even did a video last year about why are men feeling more lonely. I want this series to really help you guys as well. I don't want anyone out here feeling lonely because no human is meant to live in isolation. Women are better at forging relationships because we have our girlfriends, right? And so we know how to build a sense of community. I do see it's a little tougher for the men. Now, if men, you guys have your community, y'all stick to your community. Keep your male friends as you get into relationships. If a woman has been taking care of herself all these years, do you think that she's signing up to take care of somebody else at 65 years old? Absolutely not. She's not. But what you benefit the most from is a feminine woman. A woman that's a nurturer, a motivator, influencer, a woman that has your back, the woman that's going to look out for you. That's what you benefit from the most. And if you nurture her, she will show up. That is why we must learn how to balance our energies. So men, you can get your needs met, and women, we can get our needs met. Tune in tomorrow because we're going to start getting into now, what do we do with this information? How men can help their women become so much more feminine. What can women do to help men feel less lonely and bring the best out of men using our feminine energy? See y'all tomorrow.